running, finna get to work, about like 10 minutes away from work. Alright, so like this. When it come down to it, man, this election has brought out so much emotion from people. Nobody's sticking to the facts. Everybody mad at the orange man. Everybody's going off on the woman, and men are acting like this because they don't want a woman in office. But then when a man tells you his reason why he don't want her in office, oh, you just hating her because she a woman. But then with Donald Trump, the only thing y'all can tell me is emotion about the orange man, and he's going this, he's going that, he's going to start World War III. World War III is going to happen whether we like it or not. Because when it come down to it, it's too much been done by Biden. You can't turn back the hands of time. I mean, depending on who goes in office, that's going to tell the war. But as far as the economy and the money, I've been looking at the money. Because, you know, that's what I do over here. Either way it go, we are screwed. We put too much money into dealing with the migrants. We got the borders open. There's too many people coming over the border. You know, this is one of the topics that you're not supposed to talk about, this and religion. Politics and religion are the two that you shouldn't, you know, put your foot in your mouth, especially when you don't know what you're talking about. So either way it go, whoever gets in office is going to be a problem. What's going on, Queen Tamika in the building? Like I said, it's going to be a problem. Because for one, you want to have a situation to where the inflation, all this money being spent so far, inflation's through the roof. I mean, how are we going to be able to stop it? And giving money to the people is not going to help. You know, because we're going to keep spending money, keep making money, more money, more problems. Stop feeding other countries. Like, prime example, I just found this out. Remember when they're saying that Trump had stopped the bill that was going to help the workers down there at the border? Did everybody know that in that bill we were supposed to give $65 million more to Ukraine? That was in the bill. There were other countries that were supposed to get more money in that bill. That's what they do. Politicians hide stuff. Bernie Sanders said there was a bill being passed that, you know, let men go into women's bathrooms that are transgender. He didn't want that bill passed, but inside the bill was about global warming. He's very much for global warming. There was something in the bill regarding helping the homeless population. He liked to help the homeless population. He liked to help the citizens of America. So by him not partaking in that bill, they'll just say, oh, you don't want to help global warming. But if he does it, then the other side will say, well, you want men in bathrooms. So either way it go, it's going to be a taboo. It's going to be like, darn if you do, darn if you don't. So while other people are saying, man, Trump stopped that, Trump stopped that. Trump's not in office. All Trump did was told the people, don't sign it because of certain things in there. So, hey, it's up to them. But, yeah, man, boy, I'm not stressed out about it. I like it. Like, I'm trolling both sides. Like, a couple of days I go Kamal on Facebook. A couple of days I go Trump on Facebook. I rarely talk about too much politics over here. Like I said, all this race baiting and all this, poor is poor. I don't care if you live in a trailer park or live in the hood. If you ain't got no money, you poor. So people pushing each other against each other, that's by far the stupidest thing ever. You know, black money, white money ain't no different. You know, when it comes down to it, Tom, I mean, just saying the least, Everybody's stressed out about what? No matter who get in office, it affects you a little bit, but not a lot. You really want to know who I'm voting for? I'm actually voting for Trump. And the thing why I'm voting for Trump is I don't think Kamala has what it takes. It's too many videos of her wearing those pearl earrings, and they known it to be Bluetooth earrings. Like, I've never seen her do a debate or talking without those pearl earrings. So once the people know that those are Bluetooths, why don't she switch them up to kind of throw them off? That's one reason. Two, her policies. For one, she was given that position. It wasn't like Kamala ran against other people. They were like, well, Biden can't, run, so we're just going to make the vice president run. You were just given that position. Last time she was president, Biden and everybody else who was Democrat, she was last in all the polls. She pretty much didn't know anything, and now this whole thing, it sounds like Sarah Palin all over again. Like I said, me and my friend, we going back and forth about me not vote for her because she's a woman. By far, it's when I hear so many people say that about black men not vote for her because she's a woman. By far, there are other groups that already said they're not voting for her because she's a woman. I'm voting for her on what she stand on. Like I said, this election has showed so much emotion from people. And when I say so much emotion, especially with men, I've seen so many men emotionally come out and say, well, you're not voting for her because she's a woman. You're not voting for her. Come on, man. Really? Because she's a woman, that's why I'm not voting for her? Honestly speaking, like this election has pushed so much emotion out for a lot of people. Even with Trump, when I say I vote for Trump, oh man, Trump is going to take us to war. If you look at it, all these other countries are gearing up for a war anyway. So if Kamala gets in there or Trump, it's bound to happen. And I forgot I got to go get some money. Because that's what they're gearing up for. They're actually gearing up for a war. And then the inflation right now. Look how much money being spent on the migrants. Look, did you know that in that bill that they had that was going to help the workers right there at the border, oh, they was going to put so many more border troops in that. But did they tell you that they were going to let about, I think it was 2,500? I don't even know the particular numbers, but I know in there, they was going to let so many people along that border come in. Like, you had a certain amount of number of people that was supposed to come in the United States from Mexico. And you had that's not even including the people that automatically just come over illegally, just crossing, and then seek asylum. Then you got what they were saying about sending more money to Ukraine that was in there. Catherine, what's going on? Boss lady, what's going on? Big discussions, Dr. Dunbar. So you literally had so much stuff in there. Like I said, if you actually break this stuff down, and it was 3 young guys, I looked at their video, I shared it in my community. They did a good breakdown of the interview with, I think her name was Laura Trump, Trump's stepdaughter. And she did an excellent job with Charlamagne and them. They were throwing stuff at her, and she was knocking her down. They were talking about the whole, what was it, June 6th, the insurgent so-called thing. And she did a good job. She broke it down. She said he was talking about fighting for the people, this and that. Even to the point where was in Virginia, when he was saying that there were good people on both sides. They broke that thing down to where there were good people on both sides. The people that were fighting for something and the people that were acting a nut There were good people on that side. There were people that were acting and rioting. There were good people over there. So you can't take that away at the end of the day. There were still good people on both sides, but on both sides you had bad people. So let's call it like it is. Like I said, no matter what, whoever you vote for, I'm not even pushing nobody to vote Trump because I'm voting for Trump. That's your decision. I don't even really have to express who I'm voting for because when I go in that booth, I can vote for whoever. I can say one thing and vote for the opposite when I get in that booth. And this is the thing that America's trying to get a lot of these people who are still undecided. That's why they're going so hard at Trump. That's why they're going so hard at Kamala. Because a lot of people are still undecided. Because you know why? The money. A lot of people are hurting. They don't got no money. A lot of people going through things. Like, you got to put some policies in play to where a lot of people are going to say, man, this is what I need that's going to impact me, that's going to help me. This is the things that are going to affect me because you keep talking about what Trump did and Trump did. Like, I hear so many people talking about the orange-haired man. Okay, you got orange hair. Well, I'm not going to let him get in office. He already been in there and he didn't do a bad job. We didn't go to war. There was no new war started up under Trump. Think about people saying how Trump might get a launch codes and everything to other countries. He's been in there before. Why he didn't get a code? It's like all the excuses and all the craziness to not put Trump in office, and I get it. But understanding this, when you take your emotions and your feelings out, start doing the research, you'll start seeing that when it comes down to it, a lot of stuff we're talking about, a lot of stuff that we're going at about this situation, who would really run America better? Or who actually do you think has the capability of running the country without us going into a bigger deficit? Because, I mean, let's have an understanding. Biden has been so-called running the country for the last 4 years. And this is just from my understanding that I'm doing. I'm not trying to sway nobody. I'm just telling you what my understanding that I did. So Biden has been running the country for 4 years right now. Out of these 4 years, you probably only saw him the first year. And now that they're saying, oh, well, he's getting too bad. This guy's old. He's been old. I didn't even want him in there the time we became president. There was a lot of stuff he did back in the day. We just supposed to sweep up under the rug about the crime bill, calling black men animals and predators and monkeys and stuff. Like, he said all this stuff. But because you hate Trump, you got to put him in there over Trump. Like I said, it's more of a feelings thing versus you actually putting him in there because the policies that he have make sense. Now, if we were voting him in because of that, cool. But the crazy part, like I said, he wasn't running the country. He was always nowhere to be found. And then now that he gets to run again, I don't even know why. It's like the whole thing about Trump not being in office, which made everybody say, let's let him run again. Let's let him that. I swear, when he was over there at some state, I don't know where it was, but when Kamala and Biden came in, there was no claps, nothing. And he's the president. But when Trump comes in, Mr. President, they clapping. Little stuff there. But when he put on the hat, he put on the Trump hat and was like, you like that? Dementia. I mean, I like whatever you want to call that's wrong with him. I don't think for the last couple of years he's been fit to run the country. So who's ever been running the country, they've been running it into the ground. You mean to tell me all the Democrats couldn't get together and say, well, we're going to put Kamala in position to run the country because he's not fit to run the country. And we're going to make him run a second term because we don't want Trump in. But now it's getting to the point where you can't put him out in front of the people no more. Like, man, come on, man. What are we doing, Democrats? I voted Democrat pretty much all my life. I never went down the line Democrat because there are some Republicans locally that do good. But just overall, that was the whole push for me as a kid. When I was in high school, Democrat. Now, as I got older, I started looking at policies and started learning these things. So I'm like, okay, I should vote with intent. What's going on, Bruce? And I should vote to put somebody in office that's overall, beside getting into my feelings, that's going to do something for the people. Not just my people, because I'm an American. This whole Black American, white American. Dude, what are we doing? Like, the division in the country, that what makes the country what it is now. The division in the country. What's going on, Browns? And a lot of people, we have this back and forth. Like I said, if you living in a trailer park, if you living in the hood, however we want to stigmatize, broke is broke. And as it stands right now, a lot of people don't have money to feed their family. There are people that don't have jobs. How are we going to get the jobs back up in America? How are we going to make so-called, like Trump said, America great again? There's a lot of stuff that's going on we're not talking about because why? We're in our feelings about Kamala. Do I want a black woman as president? Now, let's even go out the whole Indian thing. Let's go out the whole Indian thing. Do I actually want a black woman as president? Hell yeah. It'd be nice. But at the same time, Kamala with her identity crisis. She's only black if. She becomes black if. She deals with black if. A lot of people. I know Chinese people went to HBCUs because of all this affirmative action and minority. Don't you know if a Chinese person goes to an all-black school, they're a minority? So they get minority scholarships and stuff. Yeah, I know, Breeze. I'm just, relaying the message because, all the people saying she black and stuff. And hey, by means, a dad Jamaican and all this and all, now okay, I can understand all that. But at the end of the day, it's who you identify. Tiger Woods, he didn't identify as black. He got in trouble. What it was, Dave Chappelle. What did he say? Buy fried chicken, buy fried rice, hello fried chicken. So, I mean, the thing is, man, when it comes down to it, just overall doing your homework. Like I said, I'm not trying to sway no votes. Man, if you want to vote Republican, you want to vote Democrat, I mean, we worrying about the presidents. We not worried about no other office but being in the presidency. There's more than one person you're going to be voting for in this election. But we done made this so bad to the point where we're not even researching the other people. Like I said, with that the border policy, they literally talked about how they were going to be giving $65 more million to Ukraine in that policy. They were going to be letting go at least about 2,500 people a month across that border to seek asylum over here. They were talking about all kind of stuff that was in there, but they keep saying that Trump is only shutting down the border wall workers. Trump is shutting down the border. Yes, there's a lot more workers that they need over there at the border. But at the same time, when you do the numbers, out of all the money that they were going to be spending on that bill, we were going to lose. We was going to lose bad. Because that's the thing. Bernie Sanders said that, like I said, and I said it earlier. I said Bernie Sanders said when he's sitting up there voting on stuff, there was something that was in there. Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, it's too much emotions about this stuff. And everybody's pushing to say, oh man, vote this, vote that. For what? Like y'all race baiting. Now you're race baiting. Now you're saying, like I say, even with Trump, pushing, oh, Trump this, the orange head man this, the orange head man that, Trump this, Trump that. At the end of the day, what Trump did. Okay, you believe that? Then vote your way. They're trying to sway so many people to vote Democrat. Why? Man, Kamala's losing so bad at the polls, it's ridiculous. Like, all this early voting, they're going to show in the early voting that, man, they better come out in November, because right now with the early voting, horribly. I'm talking about, you go to all these different states. Came down here to Georgia. One of my friends, his wife sent me a video of Pastor Jamal Bryant down here saying how we should be voting for Kamala because we're mad because a woman's running for president. Spite all of the men saying why they're not voting, and they having good reason why they're not voting. What's going on, Frugal Mama? They still want to say, well, you not voting for her because she a woman. Not one point did I ever say I'm not voting for Kamala because she a woman. I'm not voting for her because of her policies and what she's standing on. And I don't think she's ready to become president. Not saying that if she ever runs again, I would never vote for her. But I'm just saying right now, she's not ready. Certain people are groomed for these positions, like Obama. Everything checked out on Obama so good, he was groomed for the position. Kamala, to me, she was just put in there. It was like she wasn't ready. She's fumbling, stumbling over her words. Guaranteed, anytime somebody says something about her, she's always going towards what Trump is doing. You don't want Trump to do this. You don't want Trump to do this. Like, come on, what are we doing? And every time somebody speaks out and say, well, the whole thing I told my friend, I said, man, Kamala, man, she was cheating with Willie Brown. Well, Trump cheated on all his wives. I said, but didn't most women say all men are cheaters? So what's the problem? And so she was just so mad at me because I'm pretty slick at the tongue, and plus I'm petty too, so I'm real quick with it. And so when it came down to it, she was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I said, well, tell me something that Kamala's doing good and not kind of rebutting that Trump does the same thing. Like when I explained to her, I said, yeah, man, at the end of the day, I said, the cheating thing with Kamala was crazy. I said, but the policies that Kamala keep lying about, this fracking, not about taking the Second Amendment, I'm like, all the stuff that she's saying that she's not going to do, then to turn around and come back and say she is going to do, then she making this, at the last minute ditch, make this whole list what she going to do for black men. I don't know about y'all, but when I seen the whole thing about smoking weed on there, I'm like, how many black men actually smoke weed? And they're trying to get policies to where they can literally smoke weed legally. Not many. Not many. The whole thing about forgiving student loans, oh, we're going to give this much money to forgive student loans. I honestly think if you went to school and you got a degree, pay your own student loan. Why you need student loan forgiveness? You went to school, you got education. Your education should be getting you paid. Pay your own student loan. Just like, I sway towards independence so much now that I might just register to be an independent. I mean, even like with a lot of the programs dealing with food stamps, Section 8, all that, I think it should be a limited time on that. Because you're taking money from a lot of the elder people that actually need those programs and the people that are disabled. People that are disabled actually need those programs. And when it comes down to it, it's a lot of issue. And don't y'all know food stamps a majority held by white people? Montana, I've been to Montana. I've been to North and South Dakota. North and South Dakota has a big population of a Mexican that stay in those areas. We don't talk about that. I moved a guy from North Dakota to it was Albany, Georgia, little small country town in Georgia, Albany, Georgia. He was in the hills, mountains up there in North Dakota. I think he had 20 acres, 20 acres, and he moved into a small community and had 1/3 of a acre with his house was on. Pretty nice house though. It was better than the one he moved out of. The one he moved out of was on the countryside. You could tell somebody built it. Their own had little stuff that needed to be fixed, and he was working on it as time gone. But he had a lot of land. And this was a Mexican guy. He worked at a big company. I'm not gonna say, but worked at a company, and I moved him down. I mean, generally you have so much going on, man, to the point where when we run the numbers, a lot of black people aren't really as bad as people thinking and saying and all this other stuff. But we have to go with the narrative. That's what the news produce. Unless you're going out doing the research about stuff, you're not going to know everything that's going on outside of the news. When I talk to friends and I tell them about certain things, that I like watching documentaries. So I'm always constantly learning stuff on these documentaries. A lot of stuff people don't know when we talk about certain stuff, but man, I gotta get ready to dip. Gotta go grab this money. But overall, man, I'm about to jump off of here. Like I said, I'm not trying to sway no votes. I'm just saying do the research. Vote accordingly. That's the reason why I'm voting for Trump. Overall, a lot of the policies that he, put out and a lot of stuff, it's up and down. He really not really too much saying what he's gonna do for black people. He really don't even have a budget for America, because you gotta understand, he's gonna be walking in to a big deficit. They can't even give money to the people up there in Asheville, which if you look at a lot of the 10-4 hat people, that they did it on purpose. There's a lot of lithium or something up there in the mountains that, hey, they're complaining about. They've been wanting that area, and now since it's flooded out, all the people, if they sell their houses, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to build that mine up there anyway. That whole town is flooded with that stuff. But like I said, man, vote accordingly. Do your research. I'm not trying to sway votes. I'm not out here trying to push people in a different direction, because at the end of the day, it's up to you. You got to vote for you. What's going on, Kev? In the building, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on with you? But a lot of times, man, all these people out here trying to sway your vote last minute, because a lot of people are still undecided. A lot of people, days away, weeks for the most part, 2-3 weeks away, and a lot of people still undecided. I already know who I'm voting for. Like Kamala, I started off wanting Kamala to get in office. But then the more I start breaking down and looking at her policies and what she's representing and all the stuff that's going on now, if y'all want to know what the next 4 years is going to be like with Kamala, pretty much look now. She's running it now. Where is Joe Biden this whole time? She's running it with a certain group of people. Don't you think when she gets in office, she's not going to sway from so many people that's already in there, that's already giving her information, that's already supposedly helping her? She's not swaying from that. She's going to keep with those people. So at the end of the day, the economy is going to get worse. We already see that when it comes down to it. A lot of people not having jobs, a lot of people not doing certain. It's going to get worse. So overall, how are we gonna handle this? But once again, like I said, I'm about to get out of here. I'm not swaying no votes. I'm just saying do the research. If you do the research, you'll know who you voting for. That's all I'm saying. Do the research. Look it up. Try to figure out what things that Kamala's gonna do to help, what things that Trump is gonna do to help. What are the good and the bad? I'm not only just looking at the good that they're gonna do, I'm looking at the bad they're gonna do as well, because you gotta understand, Kamala gets in office, is she gonna be for the people? What policies are she, implementing? What is she trying to do to help the overall collective? Same thing as Trump, you know. Like I said, Trump's daughter did a great job, you know. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can vote Democrat for Kamala, then vote locally and Republican for your state. It all depends, man. See, like I said, when it comes down to it, this big old thing about the presidency, everybody's forgetting about the locals. Who are you voting for locally? What's going to impact your local decision? Like, that's like a big thing. Who are you voting for locally? And a lot of people are not talking about that. A lot of people are having issues. So at the end of the day, hey man, that voter. Other than that, you're gonna go through some stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off here because I actually gotta go grab this money, go to work. So peace. Oh yeah. No, I always gotta say we here, we gone. Forgot about that.